You have been taught to not trust yourself. You stopped every time you had a thought, a want, or a move to make. You waited for someone to say yes. You made your voice softer. You made yourself smaller. That wasn't you. That was the version they made. Safe, quiet, and easy to forget. But something inside you kept noticing, kept going. That little flash when you asked yourself, why am I holding back? You weren't weak at that time. That was the real you trying to come out. This video doesn't have anything to do with motivation. It's not here to make you feel better. It's here to destroy the weak script you've been following and give you a new one that is better for control. Control that is real, about how you talk, think, and move. It's time to silence the voice that doubts and build the voice that tells you what to do. You don't have to be louder. You need to stop moving. You don't have to show off. You need to stop talking. People who wait don't win the world. People who act like they belong take it. And when this is over, you won't just know that. You'll turn into it. You were never weak. You were told to act like you are. From the time you were a child, you were taught to lower your voice, smile when you weren't sure, and ask before you moved. You didn't pick that. You were given it. You were shaped by repetition. You were programmed to get approval. But now the shell is breaking, and what's inside isn't soft. Check out how many times you say sorry when you aren't wrong. Notice how quickly you explain yourself before you even finish your first sentence. That's not you. Fear has made that a reflex. The fear of being turned down. The worry that people will think you're too much. The fear of being judged. But being afraid doesn't keep you safe. It keeps you in. People don't pay attention to the careful man. It doesn't wait for the nice one to finish. It doesn't see the man who fits in. It responds to being there. It goes around the person who acts like they already made a choice. Not asked, picked. Power doesn't make noise. It lives in silence. How you stand, in how long you wait to talk, in the way you look at things. You show control when you move slowly, speak clearly, and don't react when others expect you to. And it's not easy to get control. That's why people are scared of it. You don't have to change who you are. You have to get rid of what was never you. Nodding too much all the time. The fake smile when you don't want to be there. You check people's faces after you talk, like you need their permission to keep talking. That's not being sure of yourself. That's how you stay alive. Survival mode will keep you alive, but it won't let you live. Pay attention to who gets listened to. It's not the guy who knows the most. The man talks like what he says can't be argued with. That doesn't come from how loud it is. It comes from being sure. You have that confidence because you don't think you need to be liked. When you get approval, you become predictable. It's easy to control men who are predictable, and men who are controlled never lead. Being confident doesn't mean going into a room and talking to everyone. It's about going in and watching other people talk. It's about knowing you don't have to say anything. You know what you have, and that's all. When you stop trying to show people who you are, they start to wonder who you are. So begin with small things. Take your time when you speak. Don't explain if you don't want to. Talk like every word matters. Act like you deserve your space. Yes, it is. Not because someone gave it to you, but because you stopped waiting for permission. You are not being ignored because you don't matter. People are ignoring you because you act like you want to be ignored. That's the truth. People respond to the energy you bring into a room. If your body says, "I'm not sure," they will treat you like you're not sure. They will wait for someone else to take charge. If your voice sounds like you're asking to speak, people change when you walk in like you matter. Not because you made them, because they can feel it. They can tell by the way you stand, how you see them, how you don't rush to fill in the gaps. When used correctly, silence can hurt more than any word. It makes everyone else work harder, and you watch them perform. You learn. It's up to you. You don't have to win people over. You have to act like you already know who you are. Most men freak out without saying a word. They feel like they have to explain, justify, and be seen as good. That's weakness hiding behind a mask. If a man talks just to fill the gap, he is not in control. He's responding. He's being pulled. You don't do anything. You don't run after. You make the choice. You get more power every time you don't say something first. The first person to speak always shows what they are afraid of. The last person to speak has the power to change the outcome. People will start to slow down around you if you stop rushing to be understood. They will be more careful when they talk. They'll think twice about what they say. That's what being there does. It makes things heavy, And here's the real change. You don't move to get attention anymore. You move when it's time to, not before, not to show anything. You needed attention to feel strong back then. This version of you gets stronger by holding back. You don't waste energy trying to prove that you matter. You matter because you don't have to show it. You don't flinch when they don't pay attention to you. You don't get softer when they see you. Your focus stays the same. You don't care about being watched or being quiet. That's what gives you strength. They will be curious about what you're thinking. They will begin to ask about you. When a man doesn't beg to be understood, he becomes the one they want to understand. Not because he made them curious, but because he didn't give them anything. That's how the game works. Give less, say more, talk less, get sharper. When you do talk, make it sound like it's the last word. It sounds like your sentence is the end, not the start. You don't have to sound smart. You have to sound sure. That's what makes the room bend, not the reason, the surety. Control doesn't mean having power over other people. It means that what they say, do, or think doesn't own you. That's something that most men never learn. They get more powerful, they talk louder, they look more attractive, but they are still controlled on the inside. They react to one insult. They get softer with one compliment. They think about what they did for a moment. That's not being in charge. That's being exposed. You don't win by acting calm. You win by being untouchable from the inside out. That starts when you stop letting people move you around. Is someone being rude to you? You don't fight back. You pay attention. You get the data out. What do they want from you? What are they keeping from you? You don't have to fight them. You just don't let them get to you. A man who can't be moved is a threat. Not because he fights back, but because he doesn't have to. He learns. He is waiting. He makes plans. Silence works in your favor. You can easily control most men. If you say something about their ego, they'll try to show you how good they are. If you pay attention to them, they'll chase more. If you pull away, they'll freak out. You're not free if that's you. You are on a leash, even if no one can see it. Take off the leash. That also includes what you think. That voice in your head that says, they don't care about you. You aren't enough. They don't like you. That isn't true. That's just noise. And the only thing noise does is keep you small, to keep you on your toes. But you aren't here to respond. You need to make a choice. When something happens, ask yourself, does this help me or get in my way? Use it if it helps. Don't pay attention to it if it bothers you. You don't have to get involved. You don't have to respond to every comment. Not every situation needs your time and energy. That's how you teach your mind to stay still. You don't flinch. You don't give an explanation. You don't chase. Let them believe you're cold. That's okay. Cold means steady. Cold means clear. Cold means that nothing can get in unless you let it. That's being in charge. And with presence comes control. People can tell when you stop reacting to every little thing that makes you feel bad. They can tell the difference. You're not like them. You don't have to move if you don't want to. You don't need attention badly. You don't play to get a reaction. You play for a spot. They might not know what you're thinking. They might not know how you feel. That's great. That makes you hard to predict. They are afraid of the man who is not predictable. Not because he's a threat, but they can't use him. You are no longer a mirror. You don't show what they give you. You are a wall. Relax. Still. Done. And they'll feel it when you move. You don't have to yell anymore. Your silence will do the work for you. A lot of people are afraid of being misunderstood. You didn't care anymore. You didn't do your job anymore. And now they have no idea what to expect from you. That's the good part. That's the edge. If you stay quiet long enough, they'll pay more attention. If you stay still long enough, they will start to move. You used to believe that talking made you strong, that people would understand you better the more you talked. But here's the truth. Every extra word is a door. The more windows you give them, the easier it is for them to see where you break. It's not how much you say that makes you strong. It's what you don't say. Men who are weak talk too much. They try to make sense of everything. They want you to get what they mean. They have to have it. But that need makes them weak. They spiral when someone doesn't get them. They put in more effort. They talk a lot. They give up all their power just to be noticed. But not you. You don't talk so that people can understand you. You talk to make a choice. You talk when it's good for you. And when you do, it's quick. It's very sharp. It's over. You don't go back and explain. You don't make it easier. You let the silence do the rest. That quietness becomes your weapon. It makes people think. They don't like it. It makes them think about what you're thinking. Most people won't ask. They'll just act differently when you're around. That's real strength. Because you didn't ask for respect. You didn't ask for room. You acted like it was already yours. And they made changes, not because you said something smart, but you acted like you didn't need anything from them. When a man doesn't need anyone's approval anymore, he becomes a mirror that people can't ignore. They see their own lives in his silence. When he's around, they feel vulnerable, and they either get smaller or move. You don't have to prove anything anymore. You don't need to show them who you are. You are here to show them what happens when someone stops asking. And yes, they will try to test it. They'll push you to see where you stand. They'll make jokes to see if you'll laugh, just to fit in. They'll stop talking and wait to see if you fill the space to make things less awkward. You don't. You stand your ground. You keep your tone. You keep your energy. That's not cold. That's what command means. And command is what makes the loud different from the listened to. You don't use your words to connect anymore. You use your presence. You don't show your worth by how you react anymore. You show it by holding back. And the less you say, the more noise they'll make. Let them. That sound is just fear. Their own fear. What you might say next. Of what you are thinking. Of why you don't need them as much as they need you. You don't take up space anymore. You make it. You don't come in to be seen. You walk in and see the room change. And if it doesn't change, you don't care. Because being seen doesn't give you real power. It comes from not needing to be. Watch this video will make you dangerously confident. Machiavelli to really get this way of thinking stuck in your head. It explains how quiet confidence works in the real world, how to keep a room full of people without saying much, how to keep your cool when you're being tested, and how to stop trying to get respect by acting like you already have it. Watch it, not to feel better, but to be more alert. You'll learn exactly why most people lose power without realizing it, and how to stop doing the same. If this video made the base, that one makes the blade sharper. It used to hurt to be rejected. You thought it was proof that you weren't good enough, but that was never the case. Rejection is just a sign, a message from the world saying you were too open, too clear, too easy to get to. That's not a failure, that's information. When people are turned down, they usually fall apart. They run after, they tell you, they try to make it better, but all that does is make you less valuable. It lets them know that you needed something from them. And as soon as they know you need them, they own you. You don't let that happen anymore. You don't chase. You don't say why. You don't come back. You go away. Not because of pain, because of principle. Because your presence is no longer free. Your time is worth a lot. They don't just get your attention because they exist. You don't argue with being turned down. You gain knowledge from it. You use it to make your edge sharper. They must have thought they didn't lose anything if they left. Okay. You now know where they stand. You now know what they missed, and that shows you exactly how far ahead of them you are. You aren't mad, you are clear. Your answer is silence. Distance is what you do. And while they wonder why you didn't do anything, you build, you improve, you level up in silence until you become a problem, until your name makes people uncomfortable, until they talk about you like they lost something very special. That's how you take back control, because control isn't loud. It's planned. It's not loud. It sees people figure out what they lost without ever telling them. You don't have to prove your worth after being turned down. You need to let your absence say more than your words ever could. Make them feel the change. Let them see the quiet. Let them take over the space you used to fill. The man who doesn't react is the one who makes everything different. You become hard to find. Value comes with scarcity. You only come when it makes sense. Not when someone asks you. Not when you get pulled. When you pick, and when you come back, you don't come back to get even. You come back with presence. They have to question themselves because growth is so obvious, not because you told them to, but they were curious because you didn't say anything. You don't have to lower yourself to prove anything. You rise so high that they can't even ask. That's what power looks like. It's not about showing them what they missed. It's about making what they missed too far gone to ever get back. You aren't here to win them over. You're here to work in the dark until the light shows you that you never needed them. They don't get another chance, not because you're mad, but only because you're busy becoming the person they can never forget and will never get there again. When you stop explaining yourself, something changes. You know at the moment you don't need to be understood anymore. Before that change, everything is just noise. You say things just to fit in. You move around to get attention. You get smaller to stay safe. But once the change happens, all of that is over, and something that makes more sense takes its place. You don't talk unless you mean it now. You don't share unless it helps you. You don't react unless it helps you move forward. And all of a sudden, you look around and see that most people are stuck, not by other people, but by themselves, because they always want to be seen. Their need for approval, their worry that people won't understand them, but not you. You killed the part of you that wanted to be accepted. And when that part dies, peace comes in. The kind of peace that doesn't feel soft, the kind that makes you feel cold, under control, sharp. It's not comfort, it's clear. You are responsible for everything you do. You chose to speak if you do. You are quiet because you are standing your ground. No one can move you out of your spot. No one else gets to tell you how you feel. Not because you're numb, because you have been trained. That's what people don't get. They think that being powerful means not having feelings. But you can feel everything. You just don't show it. And that makes them anxious, because they can't understand you. They can't guess what you'll do. They don't know what makes you tick. People can't use anything against you if they can't read you. That is real control. Your feelings are still there, but now they are tools. Anger turns into fuel. Doubt turns into focus. Rejection turns into data. None of it belongs to you. It tells you what to do, and that change makes you a danger to anyone who still lives in reaction. They'll try to check it out. They will try to make you angry, but the more they try, the more they see that it doesn't work. You don't get up, you don't fall, you don't play. In the end, they give up because you are impossible to reach. Not because you're hiding, but you're not available for their games anymore. Your identity is fixed. You own your energy, and your presence means a lot. Most people never learn this. They want results, status, and approval. You didn't chase anything. You got rid of everything that made you weak, and what's left is something very special. A man who doesn't blink, doesn't give an explanation, doesn't run after, just moves. They don't just notice when you walk into a room now. They change, not because you forced them to, but you didn't give them a choice. That's it for the shift. Not when you feel strong, but when you realize you don't need to. You are not here to make noise. You are here to be strong. You are no longer defined by them, because you've already made up your mind. You don't have to be louder. You don't have to be liked. You have to keep going, like someone who doesn't ask anymore. Remember this if it meant something to you. Don't go into detail. Live it. And if you're ready to keep going, keep watching. People who wait don't get power in the world. It bends for people who walk like they don't need permission. If you're done waiting, sign up. If you're already moving, like this.